Hi everyone, it's Grace Bell here. We're waiting for Ralf Giesen, who should be on his way really soon, and I'm so excited to interview him. This is going to be wonderful for learning about the work of Byron Katie and how it's affected people's lives. So yet another wonderful person who loves to do the work and has been extremely affected by the way that's helps him eliminate stressful thoughts and by questioning them. So I'll be back with you very soon. So here we are. Hi, Ralf. This is great. And I'm with Ralf Giesen, who
Hi.
is a certified facilitator of the work. He does the kind of work I do. And I'm so excited to be talking to him. And you are all the way in Thailand or some exotic place right now, right, Ralf? I love
Yes, yes, yes. Phuket, Thailand.
I love it.
Hi, Grace.
Hi. Lovely to have you here. So
Yeah, thanks for the invitation.
it's one of my favorite things to ask about the work from people who, like you, have done it for a while and found it so wonderful in their life. And what I like to ask first is just how you came across it. How did you discover it? Where were you in your life? And why did you think this is something, that I want to keep doing if you did have that thought?
Yeah, actually, I remember that quite well. That was back in 2003, so a long time ago. And I had huge relationship problems and was jealous like hell. And so many other things weren't working in my life. And at that same time already I was working as a coach, and that felt really off, that I was working with other people and trying to support them. And for myself, there was not much I could do. Actually, I was really loving all the tools that I had at that time, but in this moment or in this part of my life, it just didn't seem to work. And then someone said, I just went to do a workshop with Byron Katie, and she has only 4 questions, and it's just really great. If you want to try that out, I would be happy to facilitate you. And then that person, who was a colleague and a friend of mine, he facilitated me. I mean, on a worksheet at the beach, it just took an hour maybe, the whole thing, writing down my thoughts. It was just all new to me. And that really changed so much. That first worksheet was just really amazing how much different I felt. I was on vacation at the time for like maybe 14 days, and the first 10 days I just spent them with all these thoughts in my head that were running around my relationship. My partner was not with me at that time. And then after that session, I had like at least 4 days of vacation. And so after that, I thought, I really have to check that out. It seems, if it helps me, it could help other people too, and I could maybe even use it as a tool. I always saw the work as a tool. And yeah, it took maybe a week or two, and I bought Katie's book, and there was a famous book out about the work in Germany, which is only there in German, I think, so I bought that too. And then I invited a friend of mine to do the first session. So I just had the 4 questions, and I started trying to facilitate other people.
Oh,
And
that's
then from there on, it just like, whoop, that day really changed so much in my life. And since that day, I think there hasn't been a time where the work was not part of my life, actually.
wow.
So,
Beautiful. I love that. And when did you first meet Katie or do something with Katie?
I mean, that first year went really well with myself facilitating, and I thought, of course, I want to see that woman. I want to see her. I had seen many trainers and people offering something, and I just signed up for 2 workshops with Katie. The first one was in London. She comes to Europe like every year in the summer. And so I was so fascinated by it already that I booked 1 workshop in London and 1 workshop the week after in Amsterdam. So I went to that first workshop in London, and the beginning was Katie came on stage. She just sat down and was quiet for a whole song. And I'm already having tears again just thinking of that, because it touched me so much. It was so beautiful. and it seemed so honest and so clear, and I just couldn't believe that someone just came on the stage to sit there, and yeah, the whole workshop was great.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
the whole setting, the whole setup worked well for me. Like, I had that first workshop, and then there was a week in between, and I just went to Amsterdam and sat in a park and continued doing the work. So that enhanced the practice that I had over the first year. I learned a lot from just listening to her and from the exercises she did, and so I just continued doing my work in Amsterdam, waiting for her for the next workshop.
oh, that's great. Beautiful. That's wonderful. It's nice that you found you could do the work yourself. Sometimes people have trouble following, or feeling like their mind doesn't take off in too many directions. I mean, maybe yours even did, but that's wonderful that you just got that fire to do it within yourself and then go see Katie again. So,
I mean that is something I really love about the work. It's the same thing. It's so easy. It is 4 questions, and I can support myself with them so much. And often I prefer to be facilitated. But it's not that one thing is better than the other, or it just works well together. So
then you
it's
must.
something I really like about the work.
Yeah, I love that too. The simplicity, just amazing. So good. So, when did you first go to see Katie in the school? You must have made it to the school for the work at some point, yeah?
Yeah, that is a really funny story. I mean, it continues from where we just went in Amsterdam. After the second workshop, I was so fascinated, and as I said, I was working as a trainer and coach in Germany at that time, and I thought, oh my God, I just want all my clients to see her in person. And I just had all the people I know in Berlin in my mind, and I thought we have to invite Katie. At that second workshop, I was with my friend and colleague from Berlin, and so I just said I'm going to invite her to do a workshop in Berlin. So I straight up went to Katie after the workshop and invited her to come to Berlin, and immediately she said yes. She just looked into my eyes and she said yes, we'll come. Go and tell my manager that we're going to come next year. So that was really wow. And she really meant that. So in 2005, Katie came to Berlin, and we prepared. We were like a really small institute at that time, doing seminars for 8 or 10 or 15 people. And I had invited Byron Katie to come to Berlin. I thought it was the first time she was going to be there, which actually was not the case. I found that out later. But the thing was, we, with our little small institute, were like starting to prepare a workshop for a few hundred people, or an evening, a public event for a few hundred people, which was really huge for us. And as we invited her, we really took it very seriously to prepare that nicely. And then we made a little tour through Berlin with Katie when she arrived, which I think was not really important to her. It was all about the workshop, but we loved it anyway, and she loved it too. And then by the end of that, she asked me if I had like the idea to do the school, and actually I really hadn't. I thought it's 4 questions, and I can see Katie like once in a while, maybe every year when she's coming to Europe, and I really had planned to do a school for myself, and she really saw that, I think, and that's, I guess, why she invited me to do this school. And I just followed her invitation
That's so great.
to Los Angeles.
Oh, you went to Los Angeles. Ah, that's great. So you didn't do it there in Europe, in Germany.
No, the first one was in LA.
Oh, that's great. Oh, good. And so then you began to, of course, you were already working with people, and that just carried on. So what's it been like now for you? I mean, since 2005, that's 10 years, right? You've been working with people, doing the work yourself. How is that for your life?
Yeah, it is. It feels like it became, or it dragged me in deeper and deeper and deeper. with every experience I had. So, I mean, it's not even a decision or something I made. It works so well for me, and it seems so right to do it, that it became more intense and more intense and more intense. And so it just has changed my life completely, I would say, at this moment. But it was not that it was the plan or that I decided that. That is just what happened. It's like, let's say in 2007, I worked for Katie in California. So I just left my institute behind at that moment. And then I went to California, and after that, that was like for maybe 9 months. And then after that, I just knew that I needed a time for myself to just focus even more on the work than I had done before. And at that time, I met my partner, and that is the first relationship that over more than a few years is really happy, I'd say. And so we met at that time, and we went to India together, and we had the same thing. So the work is very important to him too. And we thought, you know, we started doing the work in India like on a daily basis, like a few hours a day, and practice yoga. And we did that for 3 months, or no, 3 weeks actually. And then we thought, there's no reason to ever stop that. We just need a place where we can share that with other people. So we thought about where could we go, what could we do, and where do we want to live. And the result was Mallorca, the beautiful island in Spain. And so we just went to Mallorca and opened a house there, invited people to come and do the work with us. So that is, for me, like the best way to do my work myself. And so we did that for a few years, and actually we're coming back to that right now. We just signed a new contract, have a bigger house, and invite people to come and do the work with us on Mallorca.
That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
And I mean, listening to your question, how it has changed what I do with people. Before it was more doing a session, like really one session, and the work for me right now is not a tool. It's more like don't know how to call it, but more kind of a way of living. And so coaching is more supporting other people that they can live it. So it's not about that single session. It's more about how can someone really have work in their life, which seems to be important to me.
That is a beautiful way to put it. I love it. I know, like, Katie speaks this one phrase, living your turnarounds, or what would it be like if you lived this turnaround once you moved through the work, and how is that, you know, and the more you do that, the more I find the same thing. It's like I'm just different now than I used to be. Everything is much, things will still bother me, but it's like a, on a scale of, I used to look at it like the burn scale, like there's a 3rd degree burn, 2nd degree burn, 1st degree, then you just get a sunburn. You know, now it's like that. Oh yeah, that's right. And how to be with people. That's a very sweet way to put it. I love hearing that. That's really great. I think yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I am working with a lot of people who have had eating issues, or all the way to eating disorders, or just small issues. And when I do a workshop with them, it developed into I need to stay with them the whole, like for 12 hours a day. And we eat together, and we do everything together, and it's all how you are with it. And at first I used to be afraid, you know, to like let everyone have a break. They can go off and, you know, but then everybody's in their own head, you know. So it's a very powerful, very good for me in my own work too. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the, well, what's your, first say what your website is, because I bet you people will love to go look.
The good thing is it's going to be in English also. So far it has only been in German.
Oh, good.
It's work minus seminar in English, Seminare, like, or maybe I have to say it, or we can put it like in a subtitle here. And it's only .de, and it's going to be in English soon. So.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's the wonderful thing about Google, and where you can translate. They can go to your website and then translate it. It'll be, you know, it won't be exactly right, but it'll be something they can see. And then this wonderful event, the one where Katie's going to be in Switzerland, and I know you're organizing it, or yeah. Tell about that one.
Yeah, it's actually that is really my favorite for this year, and it's also like coming out of my experience with the work, and that I mean there's there's only 4 questions, and it's easy and simple as we said, and this is really helpful to know. And on the other hand, there's Katie, and after all those years, if I listen to Katie for an hour or whatever, I've learned so much. So it's just there's so much wisdom in what she says and in every single facilitation she does. What I really appreciate about Katie is that she doesn't want anyone to be dependent, and what she wants to give us that we can support ourselves. So that is why, in my mind, she focused so much on giving the 4 questions and letting everyone know that you only need those 4 questions. And then on the other hand, I think even like, I mean, everyone, even the people who have been in the work for a long time, they can learn so much just from listening to Katie. So that's why I had the idea to have an event where Katie doesn't focus on teaching us how to do the work or learning, showing us how to facilitate, but an event where we can only listen to Katie. And that listening for me works well when I don't chat in between, when I don't have to focus on my relationships with other people, which often keeps me really busy. Let's say in an event where in the breaks we can chat and then everyone is talking about his own practice, and that really keeps me from going deeper in all the wisdom that has been presented. So the idea is to just spend 4 days with Katie, being with Byron Katie, and just enjoy the opportunity to only listen to Katie and to do nothing else, just not with any other people. So that's why it is totally in silent, besides what Katie is doing. So Katie is going to be on the stage like 2 times a day for 3 hours, which is quite a lot. And during those 6 hours on the stage, she's going to facilitate people, and she's going to answer all the questions that there are. So if everyone who's there can raise their hand and ask a question, and Katie's going to address that and answer that, and she does what, I mean, maybe, or you have been to the cleanse and other people have too, so that is coming close to what Katie does at the cleanse. That's like the closest event, I'd say. And all the rest is in silence. So whenever you leave the room, we are in that beautiful setting of the Swiss mountains, so that the nature is really, really beautiful. And we almost rented the whole village, all the private apartments and everything. And there's a sporting park in the middle of the town, and that's where Katie is going to be on the stage for those 4 days. So one thing is to go there. And the other thing is, as it is a silent retreat, and there's no pairings, there's nothing besides listening to Katie and asking questions and being facilitated, you can do it from home. You can just sit at home and watch the broadcast. It's going to be broadcast in 4 different languages, in English, German, French, and Spanish. And I think that's a great opportunity for the people who can't travel that far, or it is also a question of money sometimes. So, of course, it's less expensive if you just sit at home and register for the live webcast. And if you prepare that yourself, you can even spend like 4 days in silence at home and watch that video.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Coming in.
So some people here, even one other certified facilitator, my dear friend Anil, we will be we will be here with a house that I rented. That's like a, so nobody lives there ever. It's a vacation home, even though it's right near our house. But it has a big, huge screen television, and we're going to host the event. I'm going to be there, keeping everyone in silence in between all the sessions, and we're going to be there, and it's wonderful. So people are coming. Yeah, people are already signing up, and I'm going to, you know, have it as an event so people can come. Basically, and it's the charge is only going to be to cover the fee for our place, and we're going to have meals together and silence every day in the middle of the day. But I'm excited to do it that way. It'll be so fun to be right here in the Pacific Northwest, but keep coming, you know. Yeah. And I know there's a time lapse, so we'll be 9 hours later, but we'll just watch.
Yeah, you can watch it. We are preparing that at the moment so that you can watch it with a delay. So you can do it like on the same day. You could take, it wouldn't be live then, but you can watch it. You can decide how you want to do it. You can watch it live. That would be like late and in the middle of the night, more or less. Or you watch it just always with the same time difference, like a few hours later. That would both be possible.
Yeah.
And I just love that idea. And I'm having requests from really like all over the world at this moment, and people are planning a similar thing, like in different countries all over the world. And I have that nice image in mind that we are like all sitting in silence at the same time, or with a little time difference. And you know, you can send a picture from your group sitting there, and then in the mornings in Switzerland, we might show these little pictures from little groups sitting all over the world in silence and waiting for Katie to facilitate someone.
I love it. I love it. That'll be so much fun. That's in July for everybody, and we can put the exact link and the date at the bottom of this broadcast, but July 10th, right? Or 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, it's so beautiful talking to you, Ralf, and I'm glad that we got this chance to talk. I bet you people will really like seeing you and hearing the conversation. So I'm loving sharing these. It's really wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
wonderful. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.